Greeting everyone, glad to know you that you're watching this video. This video is contain my portfolio project related to my data analyzing skill. And this portfolio project will be focusing on analyzing data set of export-import process in warehouse bonded facility. And the project itself will be start with a question which says why my company is still losing even everything is on the schedule? Do you know that company which has good operational flow still have a chance to losing? And this is happened to Abuka Buka Holding Company. Abuka Buka PT Abuka Buka is a Indonesia company with three subsidiaries, and the four company in one holding company is all fake. And they are made by me. This holding company is or company have bonded zone and bonded warehouse facility. The facility provide exclusively for their export import. So the bonded zone and bonded warehouse facility is just for their internal business process. But the management said and asked us on paper, every schedule is on time and import-export flow is well managed. But why we still lose? To answer this question, we must deep down to their business process and business plan. But if we will analyzing their whole business process and their whole business plan, there will be overwork for just one person. So we will be need a team to analyze and focusing on its material of business plan and business operational. Before further ado, we must have same understanding that export-import process, especially export-import dataset, is a private dataset. So in reality, the export-import dataset must be must be not to share to anyone except for internal matter. So Apoka Holding Company have the right to make the data private to themselves. In this project, all the dataset is made by Cloud AI with reconciliation logic of Kittypad, Maclonpad, tooling round trip, and return path. The detail itself is like this. This detail logic later will be used as operator logic of the report. Okay, the data analysis report or operator report. Uh, I will introduce you to the operator, the fake operator made by me. The first is Emily Thornton, Sarah Mitchell, James Carter, Robert Alvarez, David Nguyen, and the company is Apoka Buka, Hesoyam, KMZW, and Kopla Abadi Sentosa. All this name in this project is fake, so all this name is made by me, something like that. Why the company name is so weird? To be honest, this company name is made based on cheating code from GTA 5 and NASCAR Humble. I make this based on them because who will make a company based on cheating code, something like that. Okay, the summary is not from the Cloud AI because I make this one. I need this to as a compass to understand the all data in this set of dataset. So from Cloud, I got 8 pair of dataset. Each pair represent one uh, export and import document. So in this project, BC or in Indonesia called BC is a abbreviation of Bea Cukai. Bea Cukai is regulator of export import in Indonesia. So they uh, they are the regulator. Okay. First pair is BC 1.6 and it's good, and BC 2.8 and it's good, BC 2.0 and it's good, BC 2.6.1 and it's good, BC 3.0 and it's good, BC 2.6.2 and it's good, BC 4.0 and it's good. Each pair of detailed document and it's good is born by their registration number. Registration number. So the registration which appear in goods dataset must be appear in detailed document. Okay, and then we goes to my profile. My name is Richard Sijabat. I have career break from February because I got laid off in January, in 31st January, and after that I tried to learning Java code and RStudio language, but it is postponed because operational issue. And from March to April, I reshaping my data analysis skill. First, why I try to make a career change because in Indonesia there is some culture that there will be much grooming before a month or a week before uh, Raya, Hari Raya. So, uh, so I think it is good to make a fair decision rather than uh, work in some unpredicted company, something like that. And then why I postpone my learning process in Java? Because the gap of my knowledge in that time and the material in Java language and RStudio is too wide. So I choose to stop and I resetting my data analysis. Why I said I resetting my data analysis skill? Because I have a bachelor degree in psychology, and in my bachelor degree I have material in psychometry. So I'm used with dataset, with uh, analyzing process, and so on. My professional experience is all related to export-import process. I have 1 year in forwarder company as documentation and operational specialist, and more 2 years in export-import manufacture as staff import. My education, I have certificate in Google Data Analytics, foundation, data everywhere, but it's not paid yet because I lack of money. And then bachelor degree in psychology. Okay, we back to the project, the analysis phase, the analyzing process. As part of data analysis team, so I see myself as an individual of a team who have responsibility to analyze bonded zone and bonded warehouse documentation facility. I have a purpose that this analysis is to find the probability of company loss from bonded zone facility and bonded warehouse facility. Why I'm focusing to the company loss? Because the management ask my team why we lose. Even the business operational is reliable, so everything is on time, everything is on schedule, but we still lose. Okay. From that question, I'm defining problem that this losing happen because it is related to the text and the pattern of importation process. So before we further do, when we when I try to understanding the dataset, I found that there is some possibly fabricated from Cloud AI. Or I will say to you later. So I found that from 2,501 document of VJ 1.6, there is possible fraud of 491, and the safe document is 2010. In VJ 2.0, there is 601, and possibility of fabricated document is 227, with 374 safe document. From VG 2.8, there is 4,001 document in total, and 2,450 possibly fabricated document. So it is more than half of total document. It is also same for PJ 2.0. And because of this fabricated document, there will be possibly fraud of this number is not fixed because the encode term is not same. So there is FOP in here, and for PJ 2.0 and 2.8 is CIF. So there is possibility more than this number in the in this fraud phone. So this company is really sick. Okay. Oh, sorry. The presentation of possibility fabricated of PJ 2.0 is just 37.77. The one that more than 50% is PJ 2.0. This is I will not write the percentage because I think it will be used in W or W in SQL. Okay. Or in this project, I will use Google Sheet, W, and SQL. Why I use three of these data analyzing program? Because in Google Sheet there is limited process of formula. So the limitation of the formula is starting when there is more than three formula. So it will be slow, slower, and I think it is better to use SQL to do some mathematical process. But I'm still use Google Sheet to do some uh, not really complicated mathematical thing, something like this, to find this errors. And as you can see that this is just three of formula, three condition, and this conditioning is the reason when I curious about the dataset, I found that there is something misleading in the report of export import process. Okay, the, the point logic of all this pair of set document is that every each pair must be bound by register number and commodity code, especially for PJ 1.6 and PJ 2.8. They are appear in warehouse bounded uh, process. So the importing process is registered from PJ 1.6, and the goods will be went to the warehouse with the tax is postponed, and when the company need the goods, they will be register the goods through PJ 2.8 and pay the tax, something like that. So what appear in PJ 1.6 must be appear in PJ 1 or 2.8. Well, I forget to tell you that all this data set is from 2022 and 2000, until 2025, something like that. And when I try to understand the data set, I found that everything is reconciled. So everything is good, even the timing process is good item time process. This is should be there is a number in here, but uh, I changed that because I found that there is no reconciliation in this process. We can found that if we do some if with base with indicator from the registered number, everything is counted. So every item is counted. As you can see, there is no blank of registered number. Everything is can be found and can be called. But when I double check with the indicator of the registered number and the J 1.6 reference with um, and both of them, there is there some item that not recon, something like this. As you can see, I, I use if error and use precise index with filter and with the status of not recon. The formula execute with result of not recon. So that is why I use possibly fabricated and possibly fraud. Okay, we go back to the presentation. Like I said before, that the origin of dataset is a report of the employee. So all the employee in this project make all document. So these 5 people make all dataset in here. So there is no specialization of person who make just one document. So Emily Durden can make PJ 1.6, PJ 2.0, so James Carter. Okay, we go to overview. And because I have a background in psychology, in psychometric especially, I use I use to use triangulation as validation. So the point of logic of triangulation is validation of three sides, three at least three principle. So by that three principle, we will get some helicopter view to understanding the data set like this. So first is employee report. We got from 5 people, and then Indonesia export import regulation and reconciliation principle in accounting. So I take Indonesia export import regulation because that is the solid ground of this whole process because the facility itself is from Indonesia uh, export import regulation. Uh, so why I use reconciliation principle? Because all this data pair, set of data pair, must be reconciled something. And this is from Clouded, but we will see this as uh, work of all the employees that PJ 1.6 is import. It's correct. It is import without taxation to save in warehouse. And PJ 2.8 is the outbound. Then the taxation is paid in this document. But to Kite, because there is no um, there is no information that in warehouse is processing the materials, this will be a question letter to them. So if this is a real case, we must make confirmation for this information from all the employee. Why they said Kite? Because the regulation said that PJ 1.6 and PJ 2.8 if in Kite must be at least labeled for processing. Then PJ 2.6.1. This is really far from the regulation. So this need to be asked to the employee again because PJ 2.6.1 is outbound, not inbound. The inbound one is PJ 2.6.2. It is easy for me to know this because I'm used to all this all this document. But in real case, I think when we face to face with the data set, we need a time to understanding uh, what the background of the data itself. So we need about regulation, about logical, about what this data set is represent in real life in the operation. And then PJ 4.0, 4.0 is inbound. So this is false. And the differences between 2.6.2 and PJ 4.0 is that this PG document 2.6.2 must be processed. So 2.6.2 and 6.1 must be related because there will be a correlation point. So like PJ 1.6 and 2.8 is related to the taxation. This is related to subcontract, to processing goods, something like that. And then this is right, PJ 2.0 is regular importation document. Ah, this is the result of our checking process. Okay. Oh, I found this too in this PJ 2.0. That is why there is possibly fraud value because what reported in PJ goods not all reconciled with PJ document, something like that. Okay, the reason why I use word of possibly, because what I found in analyzing process need to be confirmed with the internal of Abuga Buga holding company. So my phone is not absolutely right and not absolutely false because there will be an auditing with the data and it will be challenge my phone. Okay, this is the process of my analyzing, data analyzing. First is grouping data based on their purpose. What I mean is in here in Google Sheet, we have written to processing data. So there is no data type, but we have limitation about how much formula can be executed. So grouping will be help us to use secure data analysis, something like that. As you can see, this grouping, uh, like this grouping process will be help us out in SQL like this. I'm grouping text to text, next to text, and then decimal, something like this. As you can see, so we will be it will be help us a lot. So why grouping data is needed? That is the answer. To use uh, right data type in tablet in SQL. And then why I'm not trying to find missing value? Missing value is good analysis to know the validation of dataset, but this is a bit different because the dataset we receive is a report. So the report itself is final and have a low bidding to the dataset. So when I found something missing, something like unreconciled item or unreconciled registered number, this will be a founding. So I don't have the right to change this or erase this. What I need to do is confirm to the Apuka Puka holding group, especially in their employee, to know is this right or final report of them or not. Even they say yes, this is final or not, this is not final. My hmm, suggestion is to do some auditing process to match the report to the actual data report. So the actual export import data report. Okay, we goes to exploring data to make this easier to analyze and to visualization. I grouping this document into three categories. The first one is detailed document, as you can see, detailed document in here. This is the categorized data, detailed document. There is operator registration number in Kotlin. Like I said before, that the Kotlin in PJ 1.6 is a bit different from PJ 2.8 and 2.0. This even this is a number in here. I use in SQL as text because I have a plan that there is no mathematical process in registered number and high school. So it will wise and it will be better if I categorize them in text data type. Okay, split. So the detail item is connected to high school with text section or their text section. In this project, we will go on taxation of FTA and without FTA. FTA itself is abbreviation of Free Trade Agreement. Free Trade Agreement is an agreement between two countries to have same win-win taxation. It is like anti-dumping or something like that. And then, okay, when I launch data, I used to burn all this data with Derman, like this. As you can see, this is the process data. This is data set with mathematical from database. Okay, and then this is the uh, analysis product like load analysis, highest code price comparison, and text analysis. All these three analyzing process is processed with SQL program with SQL query. So this will be very practical and it will be more than 2 hours if I try to explain it one by one because from the text analysis itself is really complicated uh, mathematical count, something like that. And then the correlate the bonding or correlation process itself from year and month is also used in Tableau. Sorry, in Tableau. This is the correlation. So the operator load work will be correlated with only highest good price, and then from the highest good price there will be only possibly tax fraud and gross revenue. The gross revenue itself is not um, compatible or it is not necessary for now because the data itself is have potentially fabricated and potentially fraud. So the value of the data set itself is debatable. So we need fixed data who came from the final data, final document. Okay, data. I will show you a bit, not a bit, I will show you all of my data visualization process. As you can see in here, there is document type, uh, average processing time, and total document process. Why I use average time? Because it will easier to us rather than use total time. Where is the total document from that is as you can see. It's it's not different at all. Uh, We can focus on fabricated report possibility count. It is 652. The difference is total document processing time. It is 1,235 in total in minutes, but if we use average, it will uh, time we will know that each month there is just 40 minutes of uh, good document needed to finish all document, something like that. So the difference between average and total is just the average is mm, simplified and have more focus because the average is um, dividing the total or the sum from the total time in each month will be divided by 8, 8 hours and then divided by 4 weeks. In here, the dominant report is from page development, page 2.8. In here, something like this. Hmm. I like to use the operator name in shape because it will more easier to know which one which in this point. And then fabricated report possibility count will be used in size. So the bigger the shape, the bigger the possibility of them in the report, something like that. So in here, all of them is not suitable as subject matter expert because all of them have possibility to do some fabricating, especially Emily Thornton. And when possibly fabricated document, after we know that all of them have possibility to fabricating document, we must know which document is dominant fabricated, and we can know that the dominant fabricated document is VJ 2.8, the red one. So each quarter, this report is reported in quarter. Why I reporting in why I visualization in quarter? Because if we use month, it is hard to the reader to know the pattern. As you can see, as you can see, it is so crowded. So it will not amplify the purpose of this report, that the purpose was to make you read this easy. Which one? Content. Ah, so as you can see, this must be blue pill, not green pill, something like that. And then we goes to possibility um, round is mine, because this is related to the value. I try to report in each month with line. This is look like hard to understand, but if we go to the next um, visualization, we can see that there is um, goes back corrected corrected price. Something like this. In one, so it is better to use in one rather than use in quarter. In the quarter, we can see that there is a lot corrected price. As you can see in first line, that there is correcting value. Uh, sorry. So as you can see, there is uh, correcting value in here. So this is the value, and same thing, there is correcting value. Oh, sorry. This is the correcting value of imported goods. So as you can see that there is a lot correcting value. And we must have confirmation from the Apocalypse group about their business plan, business strategy, because in this data, wait, the item, the item, we can see that each HS code have a lot different supplier country like this. One HS code have two different countries. One has US could have four different countries. Usually, as far as I know, that first is price is not easy to correct it, and supplier is usually focused in one country. So this is not confirmation. We need to communicate with Apoka holding group. Then possible fraud. Let's say this is number, and this is as you can see, the possibility fraud always have same pattern where it is ah here it is. Here for in quarter three to quarter four there is always be correcting value as you can see it will always goes up until the next year. So like this, look, look, you can see this is like a fee, and then the new year is goes up. It's like fee, and then it goes up. Uh, Something like that. But this is that is not the sorry. I record this on 3 a.m. because the one that I record before have some dropping. This my final record is have some dropping. Um, no, I will find it tomorrow. I will find it soon. But the right issue is here, not here. The corrected price is so extreme, especially PJ 2.8, because why this is have correction if there is no something happen in this country, in this Indonesia country. It should be question like here. But we will ask this question to the Apoka company, holding company. And then this is for text. The text. So This is uh, counted text when we use FTA, free trade agreement. So when the text are here, as you can see that total per month is less than the total possible fraud. So I have got that this fraud is related to the FTA process. Thus this is happened to the PG 2.02 like this. So this company is releasing. Okay, to make this easier, I plan to show you in comparison. So the one the one who did the fabricated fabrication is compared to the how much they fabricated in each quarter. Then the total value like this. Oh, this is the one that I want to tell you before. As you know that page 16 the total document and total possible fraud in uh, quarter 1 when it goes up, when the document possible document fraud goes up, or when total document process goes up, the correction is goes down. So, or it refers it over. So when the total process goes up, the total possible fraud goes down. So there will be some communication, I think. This is the comparison between with FTA and without FTA. Okay. So when we use FTA agreement, we will save around 10% until 20% of the value of the text. Something like that. Okay, maybe you can ask me for anything through the chat or the column or comment because it will be very long time. to comment each column of this project because I analyzing this maybe around 2 weeks. So yeah, maybe I'm not good enough to um, explain you because I'm still need to learn. But this is how far I can go. Uh, and now I'm still I'm still learning and still curious about this data analysis. And after we know all the report, like I said before, uh, we need to confirmation to confirm that if this report we receive is the final document or not. But either the employee said yes or no, we must auditing the actual formal import or export document. Because based on the Indonesia export-import regulation, uh, export-import document final and formal, which have registered number and their complementary document must be safe and accessible up to 10 years. So Buka must be have the document. So don't worry. This is the this is the reason I told you that we must